my feeling right now, after watching this speech, is I feel very weird, which is a very bad descriptive word for anything, but I feel very strange.
Yes.
I don't know if that sums up everything. There's probably a lot of other adjectives in there, but I feel weird. And not in like a funny, like, J.D. Vance is weird, ha ha ha. More of a bad weird.
A bad weird.
Yeah.
Specifically a bad weird. And then I think the biggest cheer might have been for renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. So just to give you an idea of what people's priorities were.
After a brief hiatus, Jason Selvig and Davram Stiefler of the Good Liars are back in action, taking the pulse of the loyal MAGA followers who made the pilgrimage to D.C. for dear leader's inauguration and to welcome fascism to America with open arms, all at the cost of owning the libs.
What should Democrats do differently next time to get someone like you to vote for them?
Nothing they can do.
Democrats lost the 2024 election, lost the Senate, lost the House. What advice would you give Democrats to change their ways and reach out to more people?
Unite with us. We're not here to be controlled. We want to be united with each other. When there's no more division between man, there is nothing we cannot accomplish. The whole system is built to divide us. And once there's no more division, and I mean race, religion, politics, no more, even wealth, no more division, there's nothing we can't accomplish.
He's so close to getting it, yet still miles away. Trump and the Republican Party's entire platform relies on dividing groups of people and pitting them against each other so those in power can rob us of our hard-earned money and rights. Unity among the people is the ruling class's worst nightmare, and they will do anything to protect themselves from the broader public recognizing this fact, which is exactly why we've seen Republicans hammering anti-immigrant, transphobic, anti-LGBTQ+, and other bigoted propaganda campaigns. We'll never sell out the marginalized for the sake of uniting with people who don't think they deserve the same rights, which is why we have to do everything we can to chip away at those attitudes and focusing on the rapidly growing oligarchy that has arrived. Hey guys, quick break in the action. I have a new show coming out called The Rick Strom Show. It is going to be awesome. I'm interviewing musicians, athletes, producers, writers, journalists, authors, sports doctors. Go check it out at youtube.com/@TheRickStromShow. Also be sure to throw me a follow on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. It can all be found in the description box below. Thank you.
To further unleash our economy, our majorities in the House and Senate, which we also took along with the presidency, are going to pass the largest tax cut in American history, including massive tax cuts for workers and family, and big tax cuts for domestic producers and manufacturers. And we're working with the Democrats on getting an extension of the original Trump. Come make your product in America, and we will give you among the lowest taxes of any nation on earth. We're bringing them down very substantially, even from the original Trump tax cuts.
You have to be incredibly naive and entirely misinformed if you think that Trump cares about lowering taxes for the people who deserve it most. All this is a clear signal to corporations and the small club of wealthy people at the top of said corporations that Trump is working to make them even richer than they already are, siphoning even more and more wealth from the bottom to the top. Look no further than this comically depressing graph from the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities to see who benefited the most from tax cuts that Donald Trump signed into law during his first administration. Properly taxing the top 1% of large corporations could easily make up all of the funding necessary for social programs that would materially benefit the lives of tens of millions of Americans who deserve to be treated better. But it's a bipartisan policy choice to keep the system working how it has been. Trump and the Republicans just had the audacity to take things to the most extreme levels.
You mentioned wealth. Would you like to see more taxes on billionaires?
That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm actually saying there should be no more taxes, period.
That right there is the biggest hurdle we must overcome if we hope to see any class solidarity going forward. Billionaires should be seen as our enemies and frankly shouldn't be allowed to hoard so much wealth and resources from the rest of us. But if you can't even bring yourself to exempt them from the horrible idea of eliminating all taxes, you may already be too far gone.
Are you a little bit worried about wealth inequality in this country?
Well, no, you make your money. There's no wealth inequality. You either work and earn money, or you don't work and you don't earn money. What's unequal about that?
There's no wealth inequality in this country? It's just about working and not working?
Work your ass off and you make money. The harder you work, the more luck you have.
Do public school teachers not work that hard?
Why? What do they have to do with it?
Well, I'm asking if
public
school teachers do public school teachers work hard?
Absolutely, they do. Yeah,
they make very little money.
that's their problem.
You may never see a better example of why our country is failing than this guy. The selfishness, entitlement, smugness, and sheer shamelessness this dude exudes when confronted with a real systemic issue plaguing hundreds of thousands of his fellow Americans is a perfect encapsulation of right-wing politics. Screw everyone else, because I'm the only one who should have access to the riches our country has to offer.
Have a heart for America.
Why do you think he keeps appointing all these billionaires, people that are famously out of touch with regular people?
I don't know that they're necessarily out of touch with the regular people.
Well, I mean, someone like Elon Musk gets $450 billion. It's more money than you could spend in like thousands of lifetimes. Some people would say it's almost resource hoarding. You could solve homelessness in the United States with $50 billion. So to have $450 billion and just to hold on to it, it's almost hard to imagine caring about the average person if you have that much, way too much to ever spend in your life or your family's life or your kids' lives or their kids' lives or any more than you could ever possibly spend. Yeah. How could you be in touch with the regular person's mindset?
No, you're right. That seems unfathomable to people like us, you and me. I can't picture what $1 billion looks like.
Even when it's spelled out clear as day, why being worth $1 billion is totally immoral. No one should be allowed to hoard that much wealth. They refuse to critically engage with the facts and dismiss the topic completely. The Good Liars' work is needed, now more than ever, so please support them at the links in the description box below.
But we've also required that all federal employees must once again show up to work. It's a new phenomena, since COVID. Show up to work in person like the rest of us. So, it doesn't work when you don't show up. And I see companies now are all going back to it. They're all going back. It's great. I watch some of the big business leaders saying we absolutely are going back. You can't work at home. They're not working. They're playing tennis, they're playing golf, or they have other jobs. But they're not working, or they're certainly not working hard. You could never build a company or a country with that. So we have a very strong policy, and if they don't show up to work, they get fired. And we're trying to make our government smaller.
Come on, dude. Come on.
You only have 378. Who's the guy that said he only has?
Could there be a bigger "this you" moment than what y'all just saw? This was after he went to the Daytona 500 a week after the Super Bowl. Come on.
We love you, dog.
Hey guys, quick break in the action. I have a new show coming out called The Rick Strom Show. It is going to be awesome. I'm interviewing musicians, athletes, producers, writers, journalists, authors, sports doctors. Go check it out at youtube.com/@TheRickStromShow. Also be sure to throw me a follow on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. It can all be found in the description box below. Thank you.
I find this to be ridiculous, but let's take a look at how hard this man is working. In his second term, okay, he has spent almost 30% of his time playing golf. He rails against us working remotely, yet he's the president and he's golfing almost 30% of the time. And I also love how he thinks because the only sports that exist in his mind are the affluent ones. So he doesn't say baseball, basketball, football, soccer, hockey. He says tennis and golf. Okay. From the Daily Beast. While his Doge henchmen have been busy firing all those lazy federal workers, the president dialed it in for a 5th straight day from one of his golf clubs. 5 straight days golfing. 5. That's a vacation. If I go to Mexico, if they'll allow me to come in, during the summer, for a week, I'm playing golf probably 2 to 3 times. My dude, it's February. And he's playing golf 5 straight days. And he was the one on the campaign trail. Not that I'm an Obama lover, but he said, Obama spends too much time playing golf. I'm going to be busy working for you. What are you doing? You're not working. You're reaping the benefits of swindling is what you're doing. You are funneling the money that we have earned and had to, unless we want to be imprisoned, back to the federal government so you could take that money and give it to your properties. It's an insane equation. They continue. He golfed Wednesday at his Doral Golf Club in Miami after spending 4 days at his private resort, Mar-a-Lago, and at home, where he sometimes lives, over an extended President's Day holiday that allowed him up to his game before his scheduled return to the White House. His supporters cheered him on. It cannot feel more dystopian than seeing someone like this being paraded and clapped and hoot and hollered and cheered when he is causing so much destruction and these people do not care. Via CNN, as he signed an executive order last week in the Oval, as mass layoffs were reported in agencies across the government, he made clear he believes federal workers are scamming the system by working remotely. He'd go on to say, they're going to be going out, playing tennis, playing golf, doing a lot of things. They're not working. Bro, what are you doing? What are you doing, you lazy sack of human flesh? They're not working. We work hard to keep your properties afloat. That's what we do. We work our tails off while y'all allow corporate greed. We work hard as hell to give our paychecks to the government, insurance, car payments, and our cost of living, and how you allow corporate greed at grocery stores, including everything else I just said. But we're the ones not working hard, Mr. Golf 5 days a week. Another nice note. They talk about how he spends almost 30% of his time golfing, and during his first 4 years out of office, he would ridicule Joe Biden for spending weekends at home in Delaware. How about this? Don't do either of these things. Don't do either of them. You're the president, be the president. Don't golf. Don't go to shows. Don't go to the Super Bowl. But you know what? Maybe it's better for us. Maybe it's better that he's on a golf course and he can only be reached by phone. I don't know. The Mirror says it's been about $10.7 million as the total of hard-earned taxpayer money going to his golfing. I would say it's probably a lot more, and that's an undercount. In his first term, Trump's golf expenses totaled over $152 million. I also think it was more. But that's our money. That's our money. And it's going to him. It's crazy. From Jahan Jones, the obvious question watching Trump slash and burn the federal government is whether the public will think the president's expensive excursions to sporting events and other photo ops are more essential to the proper function of our country than, say, federal grants for important medical studies, things that his associates like Musk have seen fit to cut. The answer, of course, is no. They don't care. It's a team sport. All they care about is their team and owning the libs and owning the leftists and owning the rhinos. They don't care. There was some poor dude who literally said he would die for Trump. You can't get more cultish than that.
You want to defund MPD? Then let's go meet somewhere and not tell them. Come on. MPD's protecting you. You Maoist.
This was the scene as hundreds of pro-fascist militia members descended on our nation's capital to commit violence in the name of Donald Trump and the right-wing ideological project. While they were met with opposition, the images show an ominous and stark reflection on American society since Trump first rose to power. All of this still wasn't all that surprising, given how the Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, Three Percenters, and other far-right fringe groups tied to white nationalism were galvanized and emboldened under the Trump administration the very first time.
You want to call them? What do you want to call them? Give me a name. Give me a
white
name.
Supremacists and
white like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud Boys. Stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left. I'll tell you what.
Shortly after the president declined to denounce them, the Proud Boys were online celebrating and claiming victory. On Telegram, a group leader wrote, "Standing down and standing by, sir." Also, a new logo with the president's words appeared. The Proud Boys are a far-right group founded in 2016 that often supports white supremacist ideas and violence.
Regardless of how the right wing has tried to spin Trump's infamous debate line, the group heard the message loud and clear, and Trump's policy platform directly aligns with the goals of these hate groups, chiefly reinforcing white nationalist ideas.
There were violent confrontations between far-right groups and anti-fascist counter-protesters. Meanwhile, the leader of the Proud Boys hate group, Enrique Tarrio, was arrested Monday on misdemeanor property destruction charges after he publicly admitted to tearing a Black Lives Matter banner off a historically black church in Washington, D.C., and setting it on fire last month. Police say Tarrio had illegal high-capacity magazines of ammunition on him when he was arrested. Shortly after the attack, Tarrio told the Washington Post, quote, "Let me make this simple. I did it."
Now it's turned to the Proud Boys' de facto leader, Enrique Tarrio, who has quite the backstory.
Reuters revealed Wednesday the group's leader, Enrique Tarrio, has a past as a prolific informer for federal and local law enforcement, repeatedly working undercover for investigators. Reuters cites the transcript of a 2014 court hearing where a prosecutor argued for a reduced sentence for Tarrio in a case by telling the judge, quote, "I've never had a client as prolific in terms of cooperating in any respect." He's talking about cooperating with the government.
Reuters journalist Aram Roston dropped this bombshell report detailing Tarrio's snitch status just weeks after his arrest for burning a church's BLM banner.
Hey guys, quick break in the action. I have a new show coming out called The Rick Strom Show. It is going to be awesome. I'm interviewing musicians, athletes, producers, writers, journalists, authors, sports doctors. Go check it out at youtube.com/@TheRickStrom Show. Also be sure to throw me a follow on Instagram, Threads, blue sky. It can all be found in the description box below. Thank you.
The federal prosecutor, an FBI agent, and his own defense lawyer listed sort of numerous cases in which Enrique Tarrio had cooperated with local authorities and investigations, including multiple undercover investigations. They said, and on the federal level, they said he helped put 13 people, prosecute 13 people on federal cases. We thought the significance was because, of course, his current organization, the Proud Boys, is very closely linked to this, to the investigations that's going on now by the FBI into what happened at Capitol Hill on January 6th.
While Tarrio's apologists will say that he's a government plant deliberately trying to discredit and destabilize the far-right militia movement, Tarrio has, at least that we know of, never worked with the feds to target militia members, white supremacists, and other far-right domestic terror groups since his informant days from 2012 to 2014, aiding investigations into illegal cannabis grow houses and gambling operations, just to name a few.
At least 5 Proud Boy members or known Proud Boy members were arrested. And so they're embroiled. They're clearly part of that investigation.
And do you have any information that that Enrique Tarrio is an informant today?
No, certainly no. We do not have that information.
While Sorton's article, which we'll link below, did mention that Tarrio occasionally notified law enforcement about upcoming Proud Boy rallies, that's a far cry from providing tangible evidence for investigators to prosecute his fellow militia members.
Tarrio was the Proud Boys' connection to Donald Trump and his allies. I spoke to Roger Stone, one of Trump's top confidants, who told me in an interview that he'd been advising the Proud Boys for years leading up to January 6th and was a good friend to Tarrio.
Stemming from his role in orchestrating the January 6th Capitol riots, Tarrio was slapped with a 22-year prison sentence under a seditious conspiracy charge, which was all undone with one stroke of the pen by Donald Trump.
So this is January 6th. These are the hostages. Approximately 1,500 for a pardon.
Yes.
Full pardon.
Is there now a place for them in the political conversation?
Well, we have to see they've been given a pardon. I thought their sentences were ridiculous and excessive. One of the guys took down a flag that was an anti-American flag, and he was given years in jail. I don't know the exact number, but he was given many years in jail. I thought it was very excessive. And at least the cases that we looked at, these were people that actually love our country, so we thought a pardon would be appropriate, yeah.
If this doesn't send a clear signal that political violence is encouraged and legally justified as long as you're attacking Trump's enemies, then I don't know what else does.
There's absolutely nothing I will apologize for, because I did nothing wrong, the Proud Boys did nothing wrong, and American patriots did nothing wrong. Asterisk, there might be some people in there that were violent, but the process was corrupt, so they do deserve a pardon.
Tarrio held this fiery press conference immediately after his release from prison from Trump's pardon.
What's your association at this point with Proud Boys?
We've made the decision 4 years ago not to tell the media what our structure is, but I'd suggest that the media should stop calling me ex-Proud Boy leader.
So you are still a leader?
That's all. That's the only comment. That's the only comment I'm going to give you.
Stuart Rhodes is the Oath Keeper, a founder or leader of the Oath Keeper.
Yes.
Is he still in jail?
No, he got his sentence commuted, so he's out.
Okay.
I talked to him a couple times. We're putting some things together to make liberals' heads explode. But
well, I do eagerly await that.
And by the looks of this report from Miami New Times journalist Alex DeLuca, Tarrio isn't bluffing and is reportedly eyeing a congressional run in the near future in none other than Matt Gaetz' old district. While he's admittedly still not set on a run for federal office, the fact that he's considering it says all you need to know about the sad state of our country and where we are currently at.
If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.